Welcome back students, welcome to the class. So today we are going to discuss some numericals on work done and internal energy. Now work done is equal to minus P external delta V, and that work done is negative if V2 is greater than V1, that is called expansion work done, and if V2 is less than V1, then it is compression work done. So you have to take the symbol as it comes. Okay, pressure generally measured in atmospheric and volume in liters. So the overall the answer comes out in liter atmosphere. So 1 liter atmospheric is equal to 101.3 joules and 23.24 calories. So that you have to memorize. Okay, now work done in case of isothermal expansion, it is minus 2.303 nRT log V2 by V1. Now in case of expansion, P1 V1 equal to P2 V2 under isothermal conditions. So in place of V2 by V1, you can put P1 by P2. So that is the answer you will get. Then in place of V2 by V1, you will get P1 by P2. Similarly, since P1 V1 equal to P2 V2 is equal to nRT, so in place of nRT you can either put P2 V2 or you can put P1 V1 depending upon yourself. So in place of nRT you are putting P1 V1. So work done reversible is work done maximum in case of this. Okay, heat available at constant volume is delta U, while heat available at constant pressure is delta H. Okay, so you have to make sure that you follow this pattern very well. So heat available at constant volume is delta U and heat available at constant pressure is delta H. That is called enthalpy. We will discuss this later on in detail. Delta U, that is heat available at constant volume, can be measured in a bomb calorimeter. Can be measured in a bomb calorimeter. I am repeating once more. Delta U, that is heat available at constant volume, is measured in a bomb calorimeter also. Now look at that, delta U is equal to heat plus W. Now here both heat and work are path function, but delta U is a state function. Remember that. Okay, I am repeating once more. Both heat and work are path functions, but summation of them becomes equal to what? Becomes equal to the delta U, and delta U is a state function. Delta U is equal to delta U is called change in internal energy. As in the previous class we have discussed, change in internal energy can be measured, but change in enthalpy cannot be. So absolute value of internal energy cannot be determined, but change in internal energy can be determined. Now change in enthalpy is equal to what? Delta U is equal to P delta V. So P delta V, it indicates what? It indicates two things. Either volume changes because of the change in number of moles, or volume changes due to what? Due to change in temperature. So if at constant pressure volume is changing, it means one thing is happening: either change in number of moles of reactant and products is changing, or change in temperature is occurring. So one of them. What is delta N here stands for? Here delta N stands for number of moles of gaseous product minus number of moles of gaseous reactant. Okay, and under adiabatic condition what happens? PV gamma is equal to constant. So PV equal to constant in case of isothermal condition. But what is under adiabatic condition? Okay, adiabatic condition is that when no heat change occur. So you can say that delta U is equal to heat plus work done. This is equal to 0. So work done equal to what? Work done is equal to delta U. So it means that in case of adiabatic processes, the work done by the system will happen a decrease in the internal energy, and work done on the system will be an increase in the internal system. Now W reversible is equal to NCV delta T or MCV. In place of delta T, what can you have? T2 minus T1. What is work expansion in this case? Work expansion happens if T2 is less than T1. It means cooling takes place. And in case of compression, what happens? Heating takes place. If T1 is greater than T2, it means T2 is less than T1. Final temperature is less than that of initial temperature. Okay, in place of NCV, you can say that in place of CV, what can you put? You can see R gamma minus 1. Everyone knows that CP minus CV equal to R. So if you can see CP by CV, CV by CV is equal to R by CV. So it becomes gamma minus 1 equal to R CV. So in place of CV, what can you put? You can put R1 by gamma minus 1. So in place of CV, you will put that value. Okay, nRT T2 becomes P2 V2, nRT T1 becomes P1 V1. So PV gamma is equal to constant is also adiabatic condition. T gamma P power minus gamma is equal to constant also is some adiabatic condition. P V power gamma minus 1 into T is equal to constant is also adiabatic condition. Okay, this work done can be taken as what? If you take out common NCVT 1 minus P2 by P1 R by CV, we have discussed that in our offline class already. So W is equal to N PXR P1 T2 minus P2 T1 by P1 T2. So that can also be the other example of work done in case under adiabatic conditions. Now calculate the work done when a system raises a column of water of radius 5 millimeter through 10 centimeter. Now what is happening that the water column has been rising, okay, and it is rising in a cylindrical manner. You can say, okay, the radius is 5 millimeter and height is 10 centimeter. Now center of the mass would be what? The center of the mass of column lies half of way along the length. So you know that. So height comes out to be how much? It comes out to be 5. Okay, so height will be half of the total height. Now mass equal to minus m into g. So work done in their case will be a, you can say, work against the gravity. So you can say m into g into h. The work is done by the system, that is the water column. So density is equal to mass by volume. So mass can be taken as density into volume. Now what is the volume of the water rises? So answer is, it is pi r square h. Okay, density is equal to 1. This is 1 is the density of the water. Water density is generally taken as 1 gram per ml. So it is, and volume is pi r square h. Why? Because water rises in a cylindrical manner. So pi r square h will be what? The volume of the rising water. So mass comes out to be density into volume. So by 22 by 7 into 0.5 square into 10, that will be the ultimate mass of the water rises in that particular case. So work done will be equal to what? It will be equal to minus m into g into h. So m into g, so mass of the water rises will be what? Okay, it will be 22 by 7 into 0. Okay, sure about that or not? So that is the case. G is equal to 980 and h total height will be the value is equal to 5. So the answer comes out to be in urge. Now everyone knows that 10 power 7 joules equal to minus 1 urge, or 1 joule is equal to 10 power 7 urge. So you just put that value here, and minus 7 becomes plus 3 becomes minus 4, 38 becomes minus 3. So the overall burden comes out to be minus 3.85. That is very, very interesting question. Assume an ideal gas obeys a law of PV equal to K. Now generally what happens? PV equal to K, that is isothermal condition. Now a new law has been formed, and according to that new law, P by V equal to K. Okay, so you can say that generally under constant temperature, pressure proportional to volume, inversely proportional to, sorry, but in this case it is directly proportional to. So what will happen, how here now it's in that case, the gas confined in the piston fitted cylinder having initial volume and pressure 2 liter and 1 atmosphere. So initial volume is 2 liter and initial pressure is 1 atmosphere, is allowed to expand finally to 6 liter. So 2 liter gas, it expand up to a volume of 6 liter. Calculate the work done. Now from that work done, so since you know that P by V equal to K, so write down the value of P is 1, V is 2, so value of K comes out to be half. Okay, sure. So work done will be integration from V1 to V1 P dV, as you know that, because reversible work done will be what? It will be summation of the step. It will be summation of the steps. So summation will be what? From volume V1 to V2. So in place of P, I can put what? In place of P, as you know that P by V is equal to K. P by V equal to K. So in place of P, what can you took? You can place Vk. So in place of P, we can put Kv into dV. So the integral of this will be V square by 2. Why? Because x square, the integral of x will be x square divided by 2. So here also K is the constant you can take by outside. V dV, so value will be V square by 2. So in place of, so it is upper limit minus lower limit. So you will solve like that. So it will be upper limit minus lower limit. So upper limit is V1, V2, sorry, and lower limit is V1, and value of V2 will be equal to what? V6. So 6 square becomes equal to 36, and V1 is 2, so 2 square becomes equal to 4. And now it becomes 18 minus 2, that is equal to 16 divided by 2. So total answer will be minus 8 liter atmospheric. Sure about that? So this question is very interesting. You have to be very careful while doing that question. Now next question is that 1 mole of a monoatomic ideal gas is confined into a piston fitted cylinder occupying 10 liter at 300 Kelvin. On heating the gas up to 400 Kelvin, the gas also shows expansion and occupies volume of 20 liters. Now in the given question, the volume becomes 10 liter to 20 liter and the temperature becomes from 300 Kelvin to 400 Kelvin. Okay, so you have to find out what? You have to find out change in internal energy and change in heat enthalpy in both the cases in liter atmosphere. So P1 is the initial pressure of the gas, it will be nRT by V. So initial volume will be 10. So put the value of T equal to 300. So initial pressure comes out to be 2.463. P2 is the final volume, so that will be equal to nRT by V. So we put the value 1 into 0.082 1 into 400. This is 400 divided by 20. So the answer comes out to 1.6. So you can see that P2 is less than P1. So expansion will take place. What will happen? Expansion can take place. So delta U will be NCV delta T. And CV value is 3 R by 2. So N is number of moles, that is 1. CV value is 3 R by 2 into 100. So it comes out to be 300 calorie. Now 1 calorie equal to 4.18 joule and 1 liter atmosphere equal to 24.23 calories. So answer comes out to be 300 calories equal to 300 divided by 24. So it is 12.39 liter atmosphere. Are you sure? So what is value of delta H equal to delta U plus delta of PV. So it is P dV plus V dP. So it becomes P1. I am repeating once more. This is what? This should be equal to what? This should be equal to P dV plus V dP. Okay, so what is P1 here? Okay, what is dP? dV is equal to V2 minus V1. What is dP? It is P2 minus P1. So you just put the value as it is given in your question. Okay, P1 is 2.463, V2 is 20, V1 is 10. V2 is 20 while P2 is 1.642 and P1 is 2.463. So just put all this value here and then you just solve it. And after solving, the value of delta H comes out to be 20.6 liter atmospheric. It is 20.6 liter atmospheric. Now calculate heat, work and delta U and delta H for the isothermal reversible expansion of 1 mole of an ideal gas from an initial pressure of 1 bar to the final pressure of 0.1 bar. So initial pressure is 1 bar and final pressure is 0.1 bar. So there is what there. Now it means pressure has decreased. It means volume is increased. So it is expansion. So it is minus 2.3 nRT log P1 by P2. So number of moles is 1. Value of R is 8.34. Remember that if R is 0.0821, that is liter atmospheric. And it is 8.314, then it is in joules. And in both the cases, Kelvin inverse, mole inverse behind them. Okay, so it is already in joules. So log 10 is 1. So when you solve it, answer comes out to be how much? It comes out to be 5227.1 joules or 5.22 kilojoules. Now since it is an isothermal process, that is very very important. So dt equal to 0. So when dt equal to 0, both delta U and delta H, both values are equal to 0. I am repeating once more. If you have now, look at the next question. 2 moles of a perfect gas, that is ideal gas, undergo the following processes: a reversible isobaric expansion from 1 atmospheric to 20 liter, 1 atmospheric 20 liter to 1 atmospheric 40 liter. So look at that. This is A to B, isobaric process. Okay, it is what isobaric process. Next is a reversible isochoric changes from 40 liter to 40 liters. So volume constant, but pressure decreases from 1 atmospheric to, so it is BC. Work done would be 0. Why? Because volume will remain constant. And next will be a reversible isothermal compression from 0.5 atmospheric to 1 atmospheric and pressure 40 to 20. So it is C to A. So A to B represent isobaric expansion, B to C represent isochoric, and C to A represent isothermal compression. So it means if you look at the figure, it means overall process is cyclic. So delta U, delta H and delta S is 0 because it has been asked. So all these values are what? So all these values are, remember that in a cyclic process all these state functions value will be 0. So now the whole value will be what? What is the total work done and what is the total heat changes? That is the only case now. So since delta U is equal to 0, so heat plus W equal to 0, so heat will be negative of minus of works. Okay, so if work done comes out to be negative, heat comes out to be positive, and if W comes out to be negative, the heat will comes out to be positive. Look at there, what is W total? AB, BC and C. So BC should be taken 0. Why? It is isochoric, so work done will be 0. A to B will be isobaric in nature. It will be isobaric in nature. It is -1 and there will be V2 minus V1. And in place of third, that is C to A, it is compression. So nRT can be replaced by PAVA or by PVVB. Okay, that depends upon your choice, and log Vc by Va. So what happens here also, that 40 minus 20 or 20, so it becomes minus 20 liter atmosphere, and when you solve it, it becomes plus 13.87. So minus 20 plus 13.87 becomes what? Minus 6.13 liter atmospheric. You multiply by what? You multiply by 101.3, you will get the answer in joules. Now I already told you that delta U is equal to 0, so heat is equal to minus of work. Since the work comes in negative terms, so negative becomes positive. So delta U will be 0, so dQ equal to dW. So heat is equal to work done, so heat will be in positive now, 620.77. Now look at that. Next question. A sample of the argon gas at 1 atmospheric and 27 degrees Celsius expands reversibly and adiabatically from 1.25 liter to 2.5 liter. Remember that 1 decimeter cube confined to 1 liter also. So calculate the enthalpy changes in the process Cv equal to, so Cp is equal to Cv plus R. So Cv is given 12.42, look at that, value is given, and R is 8.31, so the value of Cp comes out to 20.794. Number of moles, since it is PV equal to nRT, so number of moles will be PV by RT. So when you put all those values here, the number of moles comes out to be 0.05. Now what is adiabatic condition? It is either PV gamma equal to constant or TV gamma minus 1 equal to constant. So it is TV gamma minus 1 equal to constant. So it is T2 V2 gamma minus 1 equal to T1 V1 gamma minus 1. So just what you have to do is just have to put the values and get the answer. V1 is 1.25, V2 is 1.25, gamma is 1.66 in case of what? In case of monatomic gases. Argon is a monatomic gas. So it comes out to be how much? So T2 comes out to be 189.86. Just use this formula. Are you getting that in your mind now? Simply, it is the application of this formula. Now delta H comes out to be how much? It should be NCP delta T. So number of mole is 0.05. So Cp is 20.794. We determined that. And delta T is minus 100.14. So after that, you just put the values here, and you will get the value of delta H in that case. Are you sure about that or not? Look at the next question. 1 mole of an monatomic ideal gas is expanded from 1 liter to 2 liter. So ideal gas expand from 1 liter to 2 liter under adiabatic condition under external pressure of 1. So pressure is constant, that is 1. So final temperature of the gas should be given like that. Now you know that if the gas expands adiabatically, internal changes will be equal to W. Why? Because heat changes will be 0. Okay, sure about that or not? So delta U is NCV delta T and W is equal to minus P external delta V. So again, if we write in place of Cv, we can write R by gamma minus 1. We already told you. So in place of Cv, I can use R by gamma minus 1 into delta T equal to P external delta V. So after doing that, what will you do? We will just put all those values here. Okay, this is the value of R, this is the value of gamma. Okay, when you solve that, so it comes out to be P external comes out to be minus 1. So it is 2 minus 1 comes out to be minus 1. So what can happen? You cross multiply this. So 2 by 3 cross multiply becomes 2 by 3. This comes down. So it becomes 0.0821. So when minus T1 goes, this side becomes T. So this is the final temperature. This question is very, very important. and can come to your exams. Now look at the next question. An ideal gas is allowed to expand both reversibly and irreversibly if Ti is the initial temperature and Tf is the final temperature. Which of the following statement is correct? So whether T reversible is equal to T irreversible, if T final and T initial both are true for both reversible and irreversible processes, or T final is irreversible greater than T final reversible. Now there is very basic question involved here. What is that question equal to? That basic question is that since there is no, this is a case of ideal gas, so there exists no intermolecular attraction. So when there exists no intermolecular attraction, so no work is done to separate the molecules. So it means what will happen? So if no work is done to separate the molecule, then T final will be equal to T initial for both reversible and irreversible process. For both reversible and irreversible process, that is very important. Remember that reversible and irreversible will have different values in case of what? In case of isothermal expansion, but not in case of adiabatic. Now 1 mole of an ideal gas is taken from A to B. This is A, this is B. Okay, so I am repeating once more. Okay, sure about that or not? So it is taken from this point A to this point B. Sure about that or not? So this point A to this point B in 2 manners. Okay, denoted by the solid line and the dashed line as shown in figure. In work done along the solid line is Ws, that is, this is Ws, this is Ws, and work along dotted line, that is dotted line, is Wd. What is that? Wd. Then find the ratio of Wd by Ws. Okay, so the work done should be what? So the first case will be irreversible isothermal, irreversible isobaric changes. Dotted line represent, why? Because horizontal line represent isobaric work and the vertical line represent isochoric work. So isochoric work will be 0, but isobaric work will be more. Remember that isobaric work done is more than that of isothermal work done for the same change in volume. Now we know that work done is along dashed line is irreversible, so it will be summation of all the steps. Okay, look at that. First, then it is second, then it is third. Okay, we will not take these values because these vertical lines will give you 0. Okay, why? Because no change in volume is observed. So it is what? It should be what? It should be P external and V2 minus V1, P external, V2 minus V1, P external, V2 minus V1. So as we go down, the pressure, the outside pressure becomes less and less. Okay, look at that. In this case, okay, it is constant pressure of 4. So, but this is the final volume pressure. This is initial volume of. So initial volume is 2. Final is 0. Initially 0.5. Final is 2.0. So what is that? It is final minus initial. That is final minus initial. That is final minus initial. So it comes out to be minus 8.875. Now work done along the solid line. This is the solid line. Okay, this is solid line. So that will be a reversible isothermal. So P1 is given to you, V1 is given to you. Okay, so in place of RT, you will put the value of P1, V1. Okay, sure about that? And this is the value of V2 and V1 we put. okay, and you will get the value of 4.79. okay, are you sure about that? So when you have a value of 4.79, another value is 8.8, so these two values are taken and put in a ratio. So W dash line by W solid line will be minus 8.8 divided by minus 4.8. So it comes out to be nearly 2. That is very. Next question is also very interesting. 1000 liter of an ideal monatomic gas at 273 Kelvin and 10 atmospheric is expanded adiabatically and reversible to a final pressure of 1 atmosphere. Find the value of volume Y into 10 power 3. So adiabatic reversible expansion is given to you. So it is P1 V1 gamma equal to P2 V2 gamma. So what can happen? P1 can come here. So you can say that P2 can come here. So it becomes P1 V1 gamma divided by P2. Are you sure? After that, you multiply by what? This is gamma. You remove that gamma, it becomes 1 by gamma. Okay, square root of it becomes what? Inverse of that. So what is the value of gamma? So when you take that 1 by gamma into 10 and 10 gamma multiplied by 1 by gamma, so gamma and gamma will cancel out each other. So what can be the answer? The answer can be 10 power 1 minus gamma, that is 1.66 into 10 power 3. So it comes out to be 4 into 10 power 3. So that's how it comes down. The engine takes up that much of heat to complete the following cycle. So change in pressure will be this and change in volume is this. So change in pressure is 10, change in volume is 20. So PV diagram show that work is done like this, PV delta V. So area under the curve is called what? The net work done. So half, so area of this triangle will be half base into height. So base will be equal to 10 and height will be equal to what? 20. So the height will be equal to 10 and base will be equal to 20. So it is 10 into 20. So it comes out to be what? 100 liter atmospheric. So work done multiplied by joule, it comes like that. Now what is efficiency? It is work done divided by heat supplied. Work done is equal to 1.1 in 10 power 4 divided by efficiency, that is 5 into 10 power 4. So it comes out to be how much? It comes out to be 0.2 or 20%. So the value of 10y comes out to be equal to 2.